Did we get everything right in our kitchen remodel, or did we make any mistakes? 3 months after our remodel, we'll explain it to you. Hello and welcome to the Decorate Your House channel, another day. You've been asking us for quite some time if we're happy with the hood, if we're happy with the countertop, if we would change anything. How do you feel about the kitchen now, after a few months? So, we've decided to make this video to explain what things we're happy with and what things we're not. So let's get started. The first thing of all are the handles.
The truth is that we are very, very happy and we believe that choosing this high-boss handle was a total success.
Why did we choose these? Look, basically it's for two reasons. First, because it's much more hidden than the other handles that you might have as a handle that you have to grab and that are just right here. So, what happens? These are much more visible and these are much more concealed being on the bottom part. The second reason why we chose this type of handles was because when you put your hand, it's much less likely that you'll hit the drawer. Meaning, on one hand you don't dirty it, and on the other hand, you prevent the paint from chipping. The paint shouldn't chip for any reason, but as time goes by, it's possible that it might chip a little bit from friction, or it might wear out, it might look a little more worn out. So, to avoid this, well, this type of handle is ideal because you don't actually touch the drawer, so it's perfect. These were the two reasons why we chose this handle. And today we can say that it was quite a success to choose this model and not another, as we also had doubts about several models. But the truth is that we are delighted with this one. Another thing we are very happy with is the paint we first chose, because it was satin. We had quite a few doubts about choosing the glossy or the matte one. The truth is that we personally really like matte furniture, but not in this kitchen either. We ruled out making it glossy because we had seen some examples and we liked it. So we had a bit of that doubt about what to do, whether to make it glossy or matte. In the end, we opted for a satin paint. If we had made it matte, it probably would have gotten much dirtier. The kitchen, marks and fingerprints are much more noticeable on a matte kitchen. We also didn't choose glossy because we were told that it also gets quite dirty, and besides, painting it at home was much more complicated. The truth is that we chose a high quality paint and we are very happy with this paint. The truth is that it has given us a result. Incredible, and we can clean it. Because this is one of the doubts that you ask us a lot. What do we clean the furniture with once it's painted? And the truth is that I clean it just like I cleaned it before. It doesn't require any special care either. It is true that out of caution I don't clean it with bleach just in case. Someone might indeed use bleach for their home furniture. But simply with a glass cleaner or some specific product for furniture, well, it would be clean enough. In the description, we leave all the links to the products you see in the kitchen. One negative thing, and the truth is that it was a mistake that we had anticipated, but we thought it wouldn't be that much. And it's not putting tiles on this wall. I don't know if you remember. Here we put everything in drywall to hide the heating installation and to hide the electrical issue. We placed it here and on multiple walls to launch the entire installation. So here we thought about whether we would paint it or put tiles. Well, to save a little money, we said we would paint it and that's it. We don't think that from here where we cook to here the stains are going to reach. Well, if they do, it's not a big deal either. That is, some small speck jumps out and some small thing. But it is true. It's good that you have to be cleaning when, if we had tile, well, we would also have to clean it, but maybe it wouldn't be as noticeable. Being the wall white, it is much more noticeable. The third thing we are very happy with is the outlets. Now I'm going to show you, because you definitely haven't seen these before. You know that in the kitchen we put outlets in different areas so you can easily access them wherever you're cooking, so you can always plug something in. And one of the places where we put them that are hidden is right under the Peninsula. We put them here because when you're cooking in this area, you just plug it in here and start cooking. And we have to use whatever the tour is, the same whatever we need, because we have all this piece, right, to be able to cook. And the truth is that we particularly use this area more here, because here we start cooking and here we are preparing it. So, in terms of comfort, it's much more comfortable to prepare everything here. I don't know if you remember one of the previous videos where I showed you the kitchen. We had this bamboo board, we had it placed here in this area. The truth is that as we started using it, we realized it was much simpler. Prepare the food here, cut and do everything we had to do, and then cook it here. And then later, basically you put the dish here and pass it again. If we cut it here, it is true that when transporting it here, the floor could get wet and well, it was more cumbersome, so we decided to place it here. Another thing we are super happy with is the blind we made, which you will surely remember from the kitchen renovation video. If you remember, we had a column here that really hindered our access to this area of the kitchen. So we had to come up with some way to access it easily, since we couldn't do it with a regular drawer. After thinking a lot and getting some inspiration, one day we went to my cousin's house and it turns out they had done something similar. So, inspired by their idea, we decided to make our own version of the blind. We wanted to use it as a kind of pantry. So, since we couldn't find anything affordable enough and nothing that would fit with the style of our kitchen, we decided to improvise with a window blind, a kitchen blind. The truth is, we're quite happy with the result, although there are things to improve as it's a bit hard to lift. The operation is very simple. It's like any other blind. And now we can access the entire pantry that we have created here with some of the products. Another thing that we thought we were going to use more and finally we have not used it as we thought was this light here. I don't know if you remember, it turns on. And the truth is that we thought it was going to be super practical when we were cooking here. But as I have explained, we have moved to the Peninsula and so we practically do not cook here. We use it for other things that are not directly for the kitchen. So with the LED light that is on the ceiling in the drawer, it is more than enough for us and we do not need this light here. If you want us to show some tips and tricks that we use for order in our kitchen, do not forget to put it in the comments. Another thing that we are super happy with is the induction. I suppose you will remember that we had stoves and the truth is that they were super good for cooking. In fact, for example, my mother used to tell me, oh no, because fire is better than induction. And there were even people who had commented, well, had put in the comments that stoves were better, although many other people were in favor of induction. We have tried both things and it is true that with stoves the food comes out very good and they are very nice. But me, personally, Ivan, neither. Neither of us have noticed the difference between cooking with fires and cooking with induction. So in terms of flavor and taste, I believe it's exactly the same. And in terms of cleanliness, you can't even imagine. The convenience of having induction is that it's very clean. We just spray a little window cleaner, clean it, and it's done. Impeccable. Unlike the stoves, every time we had to clean the stoves, it was a mess. Another very positive thing about induction, and this has been especially noticed by Ivan, so he can vouch for it. The thing is, pans and pots, when you use them on the fire, they get very dirty. Besides, they dirty everything because it's not just the part of the stoves, but when you're washing the dishes. And that's why I was referring to that. By the time you're washing the dishes, it gets dirty. Everything. This in particular, since it doesn't have fire, it doesn't get dirty. And the truth is that it comes out quite not impeccable. I mean, you just have to clean it on the inside, a little bit on the outside. But the truth is that the difference is abysmal. I mean, it's like a before and after. It has nothing to do with it in that sense. The truth is that we can't say anything else. We are super happy. Another thing you have asked us a lot about is the sliding door. If we are happy or not, the truth is that we are super happy. It's one of the biggest successes we could have made in the kitchen, and it's for two reasons. One, you often ask if it gets dirty. Truthfully, it does get dirty. Like any other door, but not because it's glass it gets dirtier. You clean it when you do the rest, but not because it's glass. It gets special treatment, we clean it with glass cleaner with a cloth and that's it. The second reason we are very happy is because of the space we have gained. before the one we had opened that way, and the truth is that it took up a lot of space. And now, having the sliding door, it is hidden in a small piece. And the truth is that in terms of space, we are very, very happy. So for these two things, for the cleanliness and for the space, we are very happy with this door. Another thing you ask us a lot about is the hood. The truth is that the hood has been another success. We are happy with it. We had quite a few doubts. The truth is that it was one of the most difficult decisions, I believe, of the entire kitchen renovation because we didn't know what to do. So we had doubts about whether it would be comfortable because being made of glass and also being so high, it might not suck enough. The truth is that setting it to level 1, it sucks perfectly. Sometimes I almost never set it to level 2, although it is true. We do not cook a lot of fried food. We do not use a lot of oil. That is, we cook quite a lot of vegetables. We make quite a lot of servings and we steam a lot of things. So maybe for another style of cooking or food? Wouldn't a hood at this height be useful? Another positive thing that we are happy with this hood is that it doesn't visually bother us. That is, since it is quite high, the truth is that you don't see that everything is piled up. If it had been lower, it would have bothered you, or when cooking, would you have noticed that it wasn't comfortable? So the truth is that at the height it is, it's not bothersome, it's very practical and very comfortable, and we have no complaints. It is true that there are two negative things that could be a disadvantage when it comes to installing this hood. One of them is cleaning. To clean it, you have to climb a ladder, there's no other way, or, well, a chair with a bit of care, but you can't clean it comfortably to put it in some way. And the second thing is that this hood operates with a remote control. So, in the event that we lose the remote, it would be a problem because we would have to climb somewhere to be able to turn it on, because it can also be done manually, but obviously it would no longer be comfortable. So, we understand that they must sell the same remote, but we have not informed ourselves much, so if we lost it, it would be an extra cost that we would have to pay to buy another remote. A crucial point I want to clarify about this hood, which is frequently asked, is the type of extraction it features. Because maybe in the renovation video it is not very clear. The extraction is the traditional one. It goes with a tube that passes through the false ceiling and goes out to the patio. In this way, we took advantage of the one that was from the previous hood, because the previous hood was located in this area here and then it had the hole. With the extraction towards the patio, we passed the entire tube through the false ceiling until we reached this hole, and we took advantage of that exit for the new incorporation. Don't forget that your like is super important for us to continue making free content like this. Another very positive thing is the Peninsula, despite it being something that you have asked us a lot about. If it's comfortable for us, because you say there might be little space here. The truth is, not at all. I mean, it's one of the best ideas we could have had, the fact of having an added space here to dedicate it to the kitchen or to cutting. Because when we only had this piece of countertop, it became very small. And the truth is that for cooking, we can't be so crammed because we get very, very overwhelmed. So, even though we've lost a little bit of space, because obviously if we didn't have this Peninsula, we would have more available space. Honestly, I prefer to lose space and have flexibility in terms of this rather than not having the whole kitchen, which in the end also, what's the point of having so much kitchen if you can't take advantage of it? We also incorporated the oven on this side, as many of you have inquired about its location. Well, here it is. And the truth is that the Peninsula has not ended up tight at all. Also, the oven can be opened perfectly, there is no difficulty, and it opens without touching. While it's true, I've told you that the Peninsula has been a total success, and the truth is that we are delighted with it. One of the things that we maybe thought we were going to use more, and finally it has not been so. It's this table, as you know. I showed you this is a dining area, that is, we sit here and eat, have breakfast, or simply, well, we sit here with the computer. That was our idea, and we hang out and have something to drink. Well, the result is that we don't use it as much as we thought we would. It's true that we had seen it in some other kitchens when we went to get inspiration and we found it practical, but in reality, it hasn't turned out to be as useful as we thought. Even so, it's not that it's negative, that is, we're not going to remove it, but it's true that this space is taking away storage area from the bottom part. And then we could have taken advantage. We could have taken more advantage of the kitchen space in that sense. We wouldn't have been able to store more things. But well, for now, we manage the space that there is well. And maybe looking to the future when we have a slightly calmer life, well, yes, that gives us time to sit here and eat together. It is true that sometimes we use it for breakfast. More Ivan than me, honestly, but, well, the truth is that we also don't think about the fact that we don't eat together in our day-to-day because we have different work schedules. And then, of course, to be here eating alone, you just go to the dining room and then you have the television, right? And you entertain yourself in some way. And I think that was the part where we maybe failed, right? Because on the weekend, we're not going to eat here. We're going to eat in the dining room. And during the week, since we don't eat together, it's different. So, well, this would be one of the slightly negative points, let's say. One of the things that we really use a lot and we're very happy with, even though it gave us a bit more work, it was the drawer where the bell is located, the fact of illuminating all this perimeter of the drawer. The truth is that it helps us a lot, because we even use that type of light more than not. The other light we have right next to it, which gives more illumination, but it gives it from a fixed point. On the other hand, the other one provides more uniformity in terms of lighting in the kitchen. This also happens to us in the bathroom, as we already had the experience with the bathroom. And it's basically the only light, or the one we use the most, which is the night light, as we call it. It illuminates everything around the baseboards. Since we already had that experience, we wanted to create something similar in the kitchen, and it's been a complete success since it's the light we use most frequently. Also, as it's an indirect light, the truth is that it doesn't tire you out. Visually, it's like daylight. It doesn't give the feeling that you have the light on. It simply looks like another window. It could be light coming in from a window. And if we need more light in cases where guests come over or friends come over or whatever, then we turn on the other light to accompany it and to make it look even more illuminated. But in our day-to-day life, we only use the LED light, and the truth is that it works great for us. Another thing we are very happy with is this drawer here, which you also ask me a lot if we bought it new, right? The truth is that this drawer is the same as any other in the kitchen. But simply if the drawer was like this, well, we did it, it was just put like this, so it's a normal and ordinary drawer. Also, it's true that it matched us by the measure, and that's something to be thankful for, right? Because it did exactly what the fridge does, so it fit perfectly. It was a coincidence, we hadn't planned it, but we did the test and it looked great. So, taking advantage of a drawer that we already had and that we were actually not going to use that space for anything, we took one of them and put it there. And the truth is that it works great for storing the machines that we use less frequently. Because it's a little higher, but it doesn't prevent you from grabbing it perfectly. I'm a little shorter, so it's harder for me to reach, but Ivan grabs it perfectly without any problem. Another positive thing, honestly, was the fact of putting only one sink, my mother and Ivan's mother. The truth is that they insisted quite a bit that we put two, because they said it was much more practical. But honestly, and my grandmother also insisted quite a bit. But the truth is that to this day we are super happy, and with one we manage great. In fact, we have this area here to place the dishes. Once we have washed them, we place them here in the area next to it. And the truth is that as for the future, we want to put a dishwasher, so with one, we thought it would be enough. We don't have a dishwasher, we still don't have one, but with one. For now, we manage great. And then we save the space that having another sink would have taken away from us. Taking advantage, since I'm here, I tell you that with this faucet, the truth is that we are very happy. You can take out this area here in a super easy way. In general, it was a pretty good choice. And finally, one thing that the truth is that we knew it was going to cost us quite a bit, and it's the microwave. In the end, we had to place it here. Even though in the video you didn't see where it was, we already intended to place it in this area here. The truth is that, well, it's a very large microwave, so anywhere it would have taken up a lot of space. Here, next to the column, it's in the area that bothers us the least, and it doesn't stay either. It doesn't bother us, let's put it that way, but it is true that visually it's not the most beautiful thing we could find. Same? Some way to embed it or something? But given the means and resources we had, well, in the end we placed it here. And well, it could have turned out better, let's put it that way. It's not that it's a failure, it just could have been better. And well guys, thank you very much for being there, for watching our videos. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. And see you in the next video. Until next time. Damn, that scared me. It's me, it's me. We got everything right. Huh? Do I love myself really? First of all, let's start with the list of the positive things. At the end of that day, we ended up having a snack right on the peninsula, the snack that our neighbor had very kindly brought us. Thank you. Subscribe and follow us on our social networks so you don't miss out on the day-to-day of all our transformations. Thank you.